Marriage equality, very difficult topic for straight people in society many times, and especially if you're a straight Christian. It's really a difficult topic. I am a straight evangelical Christian. I blog at canyonwalkerconnections.com. I look at all the verses that we attribute to same-sex behavior in the Bible, and I do quite a lengthy discussion of each of those verses. Blog site's really easy to get around, different point of view that maybe you haven't thought of. As recently as 2004, I didn't even believe that you'd see a gay person in heaven, and now I've become, in the last several years, for 5 years, I've been an activist, a straight activist and ally for the GLBT community and to the church. I care about equality in faith. I care about equality in society. So just as an interest to see a different point of view you may want to see there, I am not a heretic. I'm well studied. I try to present these things. I take a lot of time to investigate these things, and the one thing I do that most people don't do is I try to stay open to a different point of view that I've held for 50 years. So there you go. So I look at, in this Marriage I Do article, Marriage I Do for Who article, I look at 3 aspects of marriage equality. I look at it politically, I look at it socially, and biblically. In politically, I look at the history of the Defense of Marriage Act. I talk also about the National Organization for Marriage and the positions that they hold. Very interesting that they want to only have the dialogue in context of defense of the definition of marriage as between one man and one woman. They don't want to talk about marriage equality because they know that will lose them support and votes. And I also talk about civil rights in this article. Do you realize that there are 1,138 rights that a heterosexual married couple will have over a same-sex couple or a opposite-sex couple that are in a civil union or in a partnership? That's 1,138 rights that they don't have. That's not equality. So the link is there for the list of those rights. If you do not believe me, they're right there. Next, socially. We are told that marriage has always been defined for most of time through all faith bases as one man and one woman. Not true. Of the 1,154 cultures that have been studied, past and present, 980 of those cultures have been polygamous. So the one man, one woman thing has not existed within culture. I also talk about children in there. I know a lot of GLBT couples that are raising extremely healthy children. This is what Prop 8 was all about. It was just overturned because there is no evidence at all that children growing up with parents that are same-sex is any detriment to those children at all. So please look at it for that. And I also want to suggest to people that they don't understand why socially this was overturned, or politically it was overturned in California. There's a 1943 ruling that says the fundamental rights of people in this country are not to be subject to a vote. They are fundamental rights of people. So when you bring those things into a court of law and they're put right there, you can't just say all these sentences and all this rhetoric you want to say. It's put to the test. There's no test that supports that children are under detriment or same-sex couples can't be involved in a mutual relationship just like heterosexual couples. Please check it out. Last and most difficult topic, so this one I would really appreciate you reading about, is the biblical aspect I have of marriage. I'm suggesting that my family, my own mom, was shunned from the church in the 1950s because she went through a divorce. And I'm suggesting that in the last 50 or 60 years, the Christian church has had a very compassionate view when it comes to divorce. And interestingly, there are 6 verses in the Bible that have to do with divorce specifically. 1 from Malachi, 2 from Jesus, and 3 from Paul. And they specifically say that if you get out of your marriage for any other reason other than infidelity, you are indeed an adulterer. Even if you remarry, you're still an adulterer. The church is filled with adulterers. 40% of our marriages have fallen apart. And I'm saying, how do we have this compassionate, Jesus forgiving view of adultery, the biblical definition of an adulterer, and allow and embrace these people into our communities of faith and not ask them to live the lonely life of celibacy because now they are adulterers? How have we managed to have this compassionate Jesus view of people on the straight community because life circumstances and bad decisions, yet we take 5% of the population and impose our beliefs upon them and have no Jesus compassionate view on them when they didn't even make a choice for their sexual orientation? So the point is that we have this compassionate view on the straight married community, but we do not extend this compassionate view to the GLBT community. I see just a lot of hypocrisy in that kind of look. I look at this scripturally, and I look at all of the scriptures on homosexuality in my blog post too. So that's really a difficult one to explain here, so please go to the blog site and read the post there, Marriage I Do for Who. So just very quick conclusion, as an American, I believe in equality. As a person within this society, I believe that extending marriage to GLBT couples will actually strengthen marriage. That may sound crazy, but right now people are cohabitating. And in the 1990s, there was a 62% increase in the occurrence of cohabitation. We are normalizing cohabitation, and we're not normalizing marriage. Why don't we extend the rights of marriage and the ability to marry to the homosexual community too, and let them get married and increase marriage and increase the stability of our society, homes for children? It just sounds right to me, and all the evidence is there. Please read the blog post. Don't just say, oh, she thinks it just sounds right. There's evidence there. Blog post. And the last thing, as a Christian, I'm just challenged by what God says He'll judge my faith on. He's going to judge it on how I treat people on the edge. He says in Isaiah 58, a chapter that I live by, He says in Isaiah 58 that He is going to judge my faith on how I deal with causes of injustice, how I deal with the poor, those that have no shelter, and those that are hungry. So I just see that we are here to love and to serve, to cut the cords of injustice and help the poor and those that are needy. And incidentally, if you're looking for someone to give to in the needy area, if you can't handle the GLBT community, you don't want to cut their cords of injustice, there is an outreach program to the homeless in Austin. University Methodist Church on Guadalupe. I'll put the link down here. Tag some money to them. Help deal with the homeless that way. There's a great person that runs the program there, and they would appreciate the money. They feed and clothe hundreds each Saturday. So that's just my personal plug of a program that I really am a fan of. So please consider it. Read my blog post. It deals with it politically, socially, and biblically. I blog at canyonwalkerconnections.com. Thank you.